Hey, let's get it underway. Thanks, everybody. I'm seeing a lot of new names. Are you seeing that, Jay? How
Yeah,
cool
I
is
do.
that?
That's
Oh,
cool.
good. Tequila works first, nasal congestion. Thanks, Randall. I appreciate you. Might have to go down that path to get some sleep, whatever. But hey, episode 129, J Trevor Nelson, Jason Ledlow, HJ Fundraising. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming. Really, really nice to have everybody. If this is your first time here, thanks so much. It's fantastic. You can tell the chat feature is alive and well. Q&A function at the bottom. Whether it's your first time here or not, we always like to say stay till the end and win. We'll be giving away an item that you can use at your next fundraising event. And yeah, we're just happy to be here. I love these. I love last minute stuff that you can add that can add fun and excitement and obviously revenue to your event. So this is going to be a really fun topic. If you're watching this as recording, please do us a favor, subscribe on the YouTube channel and share it with someone in your network. Leave a comment in the comments section. We'll be happy to get to any questions. And then hopefully the folks that are here right now, new folks and folks that have been here before alike, you can tell this is a very interactive webinar series that we do. We've done 129 of them. So this
Well,
is
we just
not,
don't want it to be interactive. Let me say this.
yeah,
We want it to be interactive, but if you
yes.
guys don't interact, well, then it's just me and Trevor yapping. And so
Yeah, you
sometimes,
don't want that. You don't
yeah,
want that because you can
we
tell
want to
we
get you
carry
guys
on.
engaged. Hey, and if
Yeah.
you're watching this online, on a recording and you're seeing this, please give us a comment. If you agree,
Yeah.
disagree, any ideas you might have, we like to see
Yep.
that, And so, we
Mhm.
really appreciate it. You guys
Yep.
being here. So, this is one of the things, we're right in the middle of a fall event season. How many of you guys do a little
Big time.
hand raise, have your event coming up? You're going to have it coming up in the next 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Because we
One, Sage does. Yeah. Anybody
cool.
else? Okay. Well, we've got one, but even
Nice.
if you don't, even if it's in the next
You could fib and just say,
spring,
yeah.
even if it's in the spring, I think that's, it's good to be thinking about these things, because one of the things that happens, and what we want to make sure that we're doing when we set up our event and we have it is it needs to be memorable. It
Hmm.
needs to be fun.
Yep.
And I don't care what your mission is. I really don't. You need to put some fun in it. And I
Yep.
know some of our mission drives, some of that times, when we're doing the mission drive, the fun to need, it's a really emotional thing. And I definitely believe in that,
Yep.
that we get it to be emotional, and we want to have that, really heartstring, and
Heartstrings tight.
that is
Touch
very,
to the
very
wall of the,
important.
yeah. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, we need to have some fun,
Hmm.
because if it's you go and sit there, and we've all had gone, I've been to them, I've been a part of them, or these fundraisers, and it's just kind of, okay, well, we show up, and
Yeah.
they get started, and we sit down under a table, and somebody comes up, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's somebody who's maybe not real enthusiastic. Maybe they
Yep.
are.
Yep.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, we're here to raise some money, and it's going to be a wonderful time tonight. Don't you all look pretty? And
Yep.
then we get up and have a couple of people speak, and then we have an auctioneer who tries, gets things going a little bit, and then we have our fund to need, and then everybody goes home.
Yep.
And afterwards, the next day, what's everybody remembering? What are they remembering? Are they remembering that they had fun? Did they have some excitement? Are they going to tell their friends? Are they going to be posting about it and talking about it and going, "Oh my gosh, it was the most amazing night," or was it
Right.
snooze fest? Well, we
Right.
don't want to have a snooze fest. So here are some things, if you're worried about it, that will help you remove the snooze from your event.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And so I've got 5 things I want to touch on. The first 4 is going to be specific ideas. We'll answer any questions. I'll tell you,
Please.
I've seen them all done,
Yeah.
have participated in all, and they are just fun. They make it fun. They may not all be right for you. Okay.
Totally.
Please don't, this is not a one size fits all, but hopefully it's going to get your mind thinking.
Yep.
And maybe these aren't the right one, but there's something else that comes in. Maybe somebody's got some ideas to share. So we'll
Yeah.
just get right underway. So the first thing, there was an event I did up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 5, 6 years ago. Um, I got up there, and back when I was still doing auctions, and I got up there, and the first thing, this was a very elegant, very formal event. Okay,
Mhm.
first of all, I want to set the table for you. Very elegant. very formal. All of a sudden,
Black tie. Yeah.
black tie all the way, and all of a sudden they start playing this music. Shot, 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 shot,
Oh,
shot,
wow.
shot, shot. People start walking in,
Oh, that's
servers with trays of shots, and for $300, you could have a tray of shots at your table.
yep.
Hands started going up everywhere, and we started
Yeah.
going, table 165, table 221, table 109.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of a sudden, they started going. And guess what it was? It
Fireball.
wasn't champagne. It wasn't all the stuff. It was fireball,
Fireball. Yeah.
fireball shots.
Yep.
And I don't know, but what it was, but it got the tempo going.
Yeah.
Everybody started having fun.
Could have
And
been the
there's
alcohol.
somebody at every table who thinks it's going to be funny for everybody to have to do fireball shot.
Yeah.
And fireball shot, for those of you that don't know, it's like $10 a gallon.
They
Okay, I mean,
practically
it's
give it
not
away.
expensive at
They give
all.
it away. Yeah.
And I know there's always this stuff you got to figure out how to get it done, but I'm just telling you, it's a fun way to get things going, and,
Yep.
and it gets the energy, and it gets people laughing, and because they're sitting there going, you've got everybody so elegantly dressed and they're doing a
Yeah.
fireball shot.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just funny.
It
And
smooths out the
everybody
edges a
had a
little bit
great
too.
time with it.
Yeah.
It's also a great way to raise some extra money. And because even though it costs $10 a gallon,
Yeah.
you can still sell it for a couple $100, because
Let
there's
me
some
interrupt you
clown
real quick
at
though,
every
Jake.
table who would do this. Yeah.
You said something about champagne. We've had folks that have told us about doing tequila and stuff like that because there was a theme or an auction
Yeah.
item was coming up to Mexico or whatnot. But we could use different. I mean, it does work, right?
You
With different,
can. I'm going to tell you the champagne
different
thing.
spirits. Yeah.
The champagne, I've done it several events who have done it.
Yeah.
It's not as fun.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just not.
Cool.
I can't tell you. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea,
Yeah.
but if you're wanting to inject some fun into your event, just like we
Yeah.
talked about,
Yeah.
there's
The
a deal
onset.
where they have this whole, they had a Mexican theme. It was a big deal.
Yeah. I remember.
They
Yeah.
had, the dancers and all the pretty stuff going
There was a
on.
mariachi band.
And so, yeah, mariachis, and they had
Yep.
the mariachi band, a whole 9 yards. And so they did tequila. They also did a fun thing that if you bought something in the live auction, your table got a bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was good
Really
tequila,
cool.
by the way.
That is really
So,
cool. I,
so
yeah, go ahead.
that was number one. I just want to say, don't underestimate the ability of shots. And anytime you guys have a question about it or clarification, please hit us up.
I want to interject, and I want to say something like, at an event like that, what do you think is out when that's happening? People are probably going to be videoing it the entire time. You're talking about making it a memorable
I don't know that
experience.
they're videoing it the entire time. I don't really
Well, some
remember
people
that
are.
being the thing.
Someone is. What I'm
But
getting.
I just know that after the fact,
Yeah.
I talked to several people after the following week.
Yeah.
And what they all said, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I saw my wife drink a shot of Fireball.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting. I'm
She's
talking
75.
about. Like,
and,
yeah.
and they think that, well, because she would have never done this because,
Yeah.
but it was fun. And,
Yeah.
and that's why I said this was it doesn't have to be a formal event for it to be fun. It
Yeah.
just created fun. And it's not enough to get everybody plastered either. So it's not like,
Totally.
everybody's going to be throwing up and falling out and doing all
Yeah.
that. It's just one little shot.
I was just thinking about videoing it, for instance, because that's what people do, and then posting that online, posting it on your social account if you're the organization, and show folks what they missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
all the
looks like a
stuff.
blast, probably,
For
right?
sure.
That kind of thing is what I'm getting at. And I think that's more like a wide lens for this whole topic in general. You say it's got to be fun. You got to have things that people want. You got to have a venue that people want to go to, stuff like that. So I just think that's a cool layer.
Paula, I think it's absolutely would be a great idea.
Oh, Jello shots would be so fun.
I think you could do Jello shots. You could do the test. It's anything that's just going to be a little outside the norm.
Totally.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the really thing. If it's a wonderfully elegant thing, that's what I'm saying. If it's this big, lovely, elegant, very formal, thoughtful black tie, people, ladies wearing these giant $5,000 dresses and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you would expect it to be like champagne and stuff. Well, they had all that anyway.
Jello shots would be so
But the friggin' Jello shots are like the deal.
Oh
That was what made it so fun because it let everybody have that youthful excitement that they
and you said it too. You said I think you just said it's different, right? And
yeah,
it
it's
is
just different.
And you can never underestimate, we say this time and time again, donors are consumers at the end of the day. So they're sharing these experiences on their phones. They want to have fun. People don't want to miss out on a party, a good time. It's amazing that you can have a party and a good time and raise money simultaneously. But interject something like Jello shots, the fireball, or just something fun and engaging like that, that brings,
Yeah.
that disarms the room, so to speak, and kind of just gets them having a great time and socially in the whole nine. You can never underestimate the power of novelty with donors, with donor groups, with supporters,
Just
with,
people in general. I
you
mean,
check
just
this.
people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're always trying to tell people, Jay. They're people. And
Yeah.
check this. I want to add one more layer.
Okay, well, let's not get too far down the rabbit hole,
No, but
because we
no,
got a bunch
totally.
more to get to.
This will apply, but it's like, what if there's someone in the back of the room that's never been to your event before, and they're like, "Oh wow, I'm really, really happy that I didn't miss this because this
Yeah,
looks
well,
awesome."
that's the whole thing. You don't want to go home. You don't want them going home and going, well, that was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Um,
Cool. Oh, thanks, Paula. Yeah, we need to hear the
yeah.
feedback.
Okay. So
Okay.
the next one. Now, this next one, I know some of you may have done it. It's not my favorite,
Oh, okay.
but I want to put it out there because there are situations where it does work. It does work really well. And again, you can raise a little money with it, but it's more of a fun thing than a money raising thing. It's what the idea of it is. And it's the game called Heads or Tails.
Yep. Okay.
It doesn't take much to do it. There's some very specific rules that I would suggest that you do if you do that. But here's basically what it is. Everybody, when they get in there, make it $10 a chance or whatever,
Right.
and you get no more than they get a $10, they get a beaded necklace. Okay, you want to limit to how many necklaces people can buy because you don't want it to take all night. And so again, it needs to be snapping fun. You got to have it go pretty quick. And then what I like to do is have everybody that has a necklace, they put them around their neck so that way we know. And you have a couple of people up there, what I call the judges, proctors, whatever, that are going to kind of help it go through. And that way, whoever's calling, if it's your auctioneer, MC, whoever's going to do it, and you need to have somebody that's going to have fun. I have seen this where, bless her heart, a director of development was really excited to do this. She was so excited. She was really this was going to be so much fun. And I think it was her first time to get the microphone, and that's what she was excited about.
Nice.
And it was slow, dreadfully boring slow.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm some great MC or auctioneer, but I'm just saying when you're not used to having the microphone,
Yep.
little things get really big.
For sure.
And so when you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I don't know, that's just, oh, this is so exciting, it kind of comes off a little. So if you've
Amateur.
been on the microphone for the last 10 years and you love doing it and everybody, and it's good, that's fine. But if you haven't, let a professional do it. Okay. So when I say all this stuff, I mean that very respectfully. So basically the game is heads or tails. They put their hands on their head. They put their hands on their tails. You flip a coin, whichever one it comes, everybody else is out. So if it says tails and everybody's got their hands on their head, they're out.
Yep.
But have everybody come up, make it quick, go through it pretty fast. And what happens is people will start laughing because they'll start switching, and then you'll go time, and they'll sit there and try to stay in. And, it can be fun if you've got somebody witty. Yeah. So it's really not a money maker. It's a fun maker. Okay. Keep it simple rules, no more than 2 beads. That's Jason's rules of heads or tails. No more than 2 beads, 2 chances, because otherwise you'll have somebody buy 15 chances trying to win. And it kind of kills it. Yep. So you want it to be real quick and even and going through.
Cool.
The next one that I really love this, I think this is so much fun. I really enjoyed doing it. I've only done it a couple of times, but it's a lot of fun. And what it does, it gets everybody really excited. Again, you need a couple of proctors to help you, okay? Because what you do, and it's Simon Says. You play Simon Says.
Oh, tell me about it.
It sounds silly. It sounds fun because it is. And what happens is you'll clear out most of the people pretty fast, and you'll get down to 3 or 4. And you can decide what you want to do. When you get down to like 10 people, you bring them to the front. And so all of a sudden, they become the entertainment. Okay?
Like it.
This is a game will take you about 10 minutes. Again, you got to have somebody that's quick on the mic. You can't have somebody that's going, Simon says, raise your hand.
All right.
Simon says, put your hand down.
Yeah.
Simon, I mean, you know, I mean, they got to be quick. It's got to be something. There are professional Simon Says people out there where they can do it for the whole room.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have somebody do it. You could just play with the whole room and do it, and it would be a lot of fun. And you can give away a prize. You don't even have to raise money to do it. Just do the whole room. In fact, whenever we did it, we did the entire room. Everybody laughed. We had a blast. It took 5, 6, 7 minutes to get through it.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
Give us some context when you've done it in the past. I actually have not. I've heard you speak about a lot of stuff, but I haven't heard you speak about Simon Says very much. But give me some context and for the folks listening, when you would do it, like what's ideal.
I would do it right before the live auction because you're loosening everybody up. Cool. Before your fundraising begins, you can do it at the front, you can do it at the back, you can do it whenever, but you want to get people in a mood of having fun, of joy. Okay. You're trying to get them in the mood. My personal belief. Okay. This is just me. In my experience, I don't care when you do it. I don't like it in the middle. Yeah. If you do your fund to need first, you don't want to go and do Simon Says and then do your fund to need mission drive, whatever you want to paddle raise, whatever you want to call it. Totally. You don't want to do that because that's when you're going to kind of tug the heartstrings. You're going to kind of get them going. So let's say you do your mission drive first. You get that done. It's very successful. Now you got to kind of reshape the room. Okay. This is when you got to get them back and you got to do it. This is a great way to transition from that very deep, heartfelt, heavy, emotionally heavy story in that deal to fun. Okay. This is a way that you can get that back. Now, I personally, most of my experience is doing the fun, the live auction, and then doing the fun to need at the end.
Sure.
Because I like that too. Yeah, at the end, the reason I like to do the fun to need at the end, and we're going to talk about one of the things basically that we're going to talk about is pace and timeline. And I'll kind of circle back to that. But if you're doing those things, I like to do these games right before the live auction, before the fundraising starts. It's just something that loosens people up,
icebreaker,
and it gets things loose. Basically, gets in everybody in a fun mindset. People that are having fun spend more money than the people that are just bored to death.
It gets people bored.
If they're bored, they're going to, and it's getting attention. Because you got to get people's attention to get them engaged. Agreed. And the way you get them engaged is get them involved. Okay. So that's why, like in the Simon Says, I personally don't like to sell stuff. We're just going to have them stand up. They do their thing. When they do, they sit down. And we walk around, have people walking around because we know that they're out and they get them set down. Then when you get the last 10 people, you drag them up to the front.
Have a cool prize. Have a cool prize, like a donated.
Yeah, give away a cool prize. You give away some deal. Give away, give away a gallon jug of Fireball. It doesn't.
Or a Jello shot.
Because you make a big deal. Give them a trophy. They get the Grand Champion Simon Says trophy, and they get a gallon jug of Fireball, something like that would make it fun.
Make it fun and silly.
Their table gets more Jello shots
or dessert or something. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool. I'm into that.
Okay.
I think it's rad.
The next one, I have not personally done this, but I have seen it done, and it was sensational.
Oh, cool.
Is a dancing train.
Wow. I've seen this on video.
That's where they start, like the music, where they start. And what this was the auctioneer went down into the crowd, started getting the train, and we had volunteer. They had people already kind of stacked that were going to do it. They knew volunteer, some people that were going to join in. Yeah. They had a train going all through the whole thing, through the entire flipping deal, going around, circling around, and I mean, probably 2/3 of everybody got in it.
Right.
It was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And what it did, it got their attention, got them laughing, they got engaged, and it took a little bit to get them back, to get them in their seat, to get them going again, but it worked. And they had a very successful auction, very successful event. So again, it's not something I've personally done. I've witnessed it. And it was really, really cool. I thought it was the most brilliant, and I never got to try it, but
Yeah.
I retired before I was able to put it in
But
practice.
they got some folks involved beforehand, like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. You're
Yeah,
volunteering.
you always
Yeah.
stack the deck.
Yeah,
You
there you
always
go. It's
the
so funny.
deck in your
It made
favor.
it sound like
So when we
a
say,
match,
hey,
a
and we're going
match
to run down
challenge.
here, when the auctioneer jumps off the stage and starts going through the crowd and starts
Yeah,
dancing,
we need
we're
you.
going to get some people that they're automatically going to go get in the line. And then everybody else will start getting, because that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I
Trying to
love
get
it.
people involved
I
and
love
get
it.
them laughing and having fun. And, this is where it gets really cool. They'll sit there and go out, and the next thing you know, they're going out the room, coming back, because the people that are sitting there, you want to get by where everybody gets a chance. And
Right.
again, you got to, have somebody that's got the personality to do it, because he's sitting there yelling on the microphone,
Yeah.
going, "Come on, the train, dancing train coming," and he's yelling and having a good time, and they're just jumping right behind
You need
and away
someone
they go.
gregarious. Yeah, yeah, to
You
lead
know,
that charge.
yeah. I saw the lead singer for Train, the band Train,
Oh
do
wow.
this in Aspen, and did it. And there was the train. It was the longest deal I've ever seen. The
Oh wow.
principle's still the same. It's part of the show.
Mhm.
Okay, gets people involved. They remember it. They
Yeah.
remember.
Well, they call it a run a show for a reason, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it needs to be engaging. It needs to be fun. It needs to be communicative, but we also believe in brevity.
Well,
Message
you
that keeps
can't.
it,
It's boring if all you do is get up there and go, "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about these children that we're sending to camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
These children have been stricken with cancer.
Yeah.
They're dying.
Yeah.
It's gonna just be so heavy, and
Yeah.
I mean, there is a place for that, and
Absolutely.
and I am a big believer in mission drive and bringing people and getting them into the right deal. But at the end of the day, what are people going to remember? Was it a fun night? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I cannot believe I got up there and did the limbo. We had a
Oh,
limbo
I haven't
contest,
done
and
that in a
everybody,
long time. I
whatever
haven't had a
you got
Jello
to do.
shot since I was 18. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
22. Yeah.
you can do this stuff that's going to make it fun, because we're having a fund raiser,
Yeah.
FUND. We're here to raise money.
Yeah.
But the more fun you have, FUN, the more money you will raise.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially nowadays, that's just really where the landscape is going. It has to be engaging. I don't want to, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you're competing with other events.
Well, that's the point. If
Yeah.
everybody works about competing, well, gosh, I don't know. Then have the
Yeah.
funnest event, and you don't have to.
I'm a bigger believer in differentiation than I am in competition, and going head to head with other orgs. If they I'm also a big believer in, like, if another organization is doing it right, I'm, take some ideas, take some creative
Yeah,
freedom,
exactly.
and agency, and take great ideas that work and use them. But
Has anybody tried any of the three things or four things that I've mentioned so far? Has anybody done any of these that's on here?
yeah, give us some feedback or any
Or have you seen it
questions.
done? Because I'd love to get somebody else's perspective. Or is there something else that you've been doing, that you've done, that has
That's
given
been
you,
really engaging.
that
Yeah.
you think that everybody started laughing and having a good time with and
Yeah.
remembering?
We want folks, the impression I'm thinking as well is that we want folks to, the next day, we don't want them to feel horrible from the fireball shots, but we want them to go, man, that was a good time.
No, if they've
Like,
got a headache,
I
they're
can't
going,
wait to go
"Man, I
next year.
had
I'm
too
gonna,
much fun.
yeah,
I had too much fun last
yeah,
night."
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's that part too. Yeah, yeah,
There's one thing that I want you to think about. There's something in common all four of these have, because we attempt to entertain only from the stage
hmm
a lot of times, because it's simple. We go, "Oh yeah, let's get, our auctioneer is going to be entertaining.
yeah,
We're going to have a speaker, maybe, I mean, the MC, what all that happens."
yeah,
But you can only get people engaged so much, unless you're just a professional, entertainer, or you're a comedian that's going to get up there and do a show. And that's not what we're here for.
mhm,
We're here to raise money for a specific mission that we're trying to advance our mission. But what all four of these have in common is they get people involved.
mhm,
It is something that everybody in the room can do. There's nothing that's going to preclude them. The heads or tails, if you're buying the things, give it to them for free for all I care.
yeah,
It's not going to make a whole lot of money anyway.
yeah. It's gonna make
You
something.
sell 50 of them and you make $500. Big deal. You'd be better off to do it for nothing. Get everybody involved. Make it take a little bit more time. Get everybody involved. Be real specific with it, and give away a cool prize then because you got everybody laughing. Again, it's the last on my list. I would do the train. I would do Simon Says. I would have the shots. You can do the shots and the train. Do the shots and the train, and then you probably really get some stuff going.
Yeah.
So
Fun.
that's just what my whole part that I wanted to really drive today. Have fun, but
You're creative.
let people get up and have fun. This is not something where they've got to just sit. I don't care if it's a formal, they're wearing their heel, because
Oh,
I've never seen women kick their high heels off so fast as to go and do this stuff.
yeah.
Can I
It's
get
awesome.
them in?
Yeah. I love it. Amen.
Okay. I
Amen,
mean,
brother.
it's the funniest thing. You see them,
Yeah.
they're wearing these
Um,
4-inch stilettos, and the next thing you know, they're walking around bare. I'm going, wow, she's not 6 foot tall.
well, that's also, there's a very interesting human element. I actually wanted to share something about being creative too with these events. We keep, talking about the same thing, but it's all very impactful. But there's, yeah, if someone's that comfortable at the event, that's a good sign. You know what I mean? If someone's having that much fun kicking off their shoes and is that comfortable at your event, you're doing something right. So there's a human element there too. We had an event in the Chicago area where the lady was a champion fundraiser, the gal that we were working with from the organization. It was for a private school. She's an absolute sweetheart. And she sent me images because she said, wait till you see how creative we get this year. And it's going to be awesome. And they broke records and what have. And there were people, what is it? The acro yoga hanging from the ceiling with a tray of champagne when you enter the reception area, and crazy kaleidoscope looking things at check-in. It's just like, it was so cool, and it was so different. It looked like a Dale Chihuly exhibit with the blown glass. You know what I mean? The images that she said. And where do you see that, at an event? It's just so cool. And I got to be honest with you, there's an intersection of this creativity and the novelty and people seeing things for the first time at your event they haven't seen before, and then bringing guests that have never been exposed to your event. There's a really cool intersection with the creative and the creative boundaries being pushed with these events. And Jason keeps saying it. We keep saying it. It's got to be fun. It's got to be engaging, regardless of the mission. You're going to raise money for the mission, regardless. It's got to have fun, or it's got to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you can raise a lot of money and not have any fun, but
People aren't going to remember that part. Yeah.
yeah, they won't remember. You want to be just, it's got to be memorable.
Stand out.
What
Yeah.
what happened. Um,
Cool.
the last part I want to talk about is pace and timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I'll give you a few rules for the road. If you've got your note taken, if you're taking notes, Bev, here's some rules for the road.
Mm.
You want to keep all your speakers 3 minutes or less.
Yep.
And the reason I say that, there's pretty much not anybody that's going to give a speech, except for maybe your main presenter, if you've got somebody who's very specific to the mission that you're tying in to do this. There was there was a specific lady came and told her story, and there wasn't a dry in the room, including myself. I'm standing over to the side of the stage, tears rolling down my cheeks, because this was such a powerful story. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm talking about when you're giving an award, you've got somebody up there to do it. Be very, very specific about time, because even though you have to really be diligent on your timeline and your run of show. It's kind of like, have you ever watched the Academy Awards and the microphone starts going down because they won't shut up?
Yeah. They start playing the music.
I'm going to tell you, and I know y'all probably have some experience, but the man or woman who you least think would ever do that, when they get an opportunity on the microphone, it's like somebody who never will do karaoke, and all of a sudden they start doing karaoke. You can't get the microphone out of their hands.
Bon Jovi.
They will just decide they're going to thank everybody. Their fifth grade teacher, I want to thank my fifth grade teacher that said I would never account anything.
Right,
Screw you, Mrs. Smith. I made something myself, because
politicians do that a lot, right?
Politicians are the worst. Yeah. I have a friend. He's not a politician now. He's out. He didn't get elected. Yeah. He got beat, but great guy. And he was lieutenant governor, and I had him get up there, and I literally said, Todd,
Yeah.
You're here to introduce and welcome everybody here. That's it. That means you have 4 minutes. If you go past 5, I will personally pull you off that stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he got up there, and the first thing he said, I want to welcome everybody here. I've only got a limited amount of time because I don't want Jason coming and pulling me off stage, because I believe he would do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Good.
it kind of made it funny
Yeah.
because
Tell people the truth. I love
I'm a
that.
politician, but I've been threatened. He goes, I feel weird because I can say that, but he would come get me.
That's awesome.
One of the things that, so keeping all those down to just
Mhm.
really very, very minimal. I mean, literally 90 seconds is a long time. Look how long we've been up here talking and you guys are falling asleep.
We call it the golden hour of fundraising.
Yes. So brevity is more. Is not more, always more.
Less is
Brevity can be more is not always more.
agreed.
So you want to keep all those things down. Timeline. Always start on time, stay to the program, and keep things moving.
Yep.
There will come something in the way, and you're going to have this somewhere along the way. You're going to have this temptation to delay the next part of the show. Gosh, I don't know. I think we might want to let him drink a little bit more, because let's just wait 15 more minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That is a death knell to any event in my experience. Once you start delaying, it never stops. And the next thing you know, instead of having them out of here by 9, it's 10, and half everybody's left already.
Stay on time. Yep.
So if you're going to start your event, and I'm just going to make this timeline up, let's say that it's 6 o'clock to 6:30 is cocktails and receptions. 6:30 to 7 is silent auctions are open. 7 o'clock seated for dinner. 7:15 we start the program starts. Okay. And then once it starts, you don't stop. I believe in raising money first, having fun, raising money first, giving awards out last, and partying at the end. Mm-hmm. Because 9 o'clock is the witching hour. Mm-hmm. It's not midnight. Cinderella doesn't turn into a pumpkin at midnight. She turns into a pumpkin at 9 o'clock. And you'll just see that, because all of a sudden people have babysitters they've got to get to. Yeah. They've got to get up early the next day. They've got something going on. They've got kids at home. Whatever it is, they may just be ready to get out of there and go do something else. Yeah. Always want to leave them wanting more. And so brevity. I love that. So we say golden hour of fundraising is an hour. So if you start your fundraising at 8, you have to be done by 9. Mm-hmm. Better to start at 7:45 and be done by 8:45 than the other way. Yep. And just because it's an hour doesn't mean it's really an hour. It's probably more like 45 minutes. But programs start to finish, you want to be done. You just really want to be done by 9. And if you want to stay and you've got the band until 10, I don't know about you all. 30 years of doing this, they'll have the band afterwards. Mm-hmm. Maybe twice I can remember there being a significant crowd after 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Pretty much everybody folds tent and goes home. That's just been my experience. I'm not saying that now, not all events. There's some of them that they shut it down and won't come, but they're very, very specific events, and it's just a different kind of
every event has its own atmosphere and culture and demographic and times. I know an org, gosh, what were they doing? We speak to so many folks. There's like a after party for like a young professionals group or something like that. And the guy was like, and I really want to do a raffle item to engage people to come to that. And I was like, wow, that's really clever. But it was for, like an entrepreneurs group, that was raising money for a local charity. And there was going to be a young professional, component to it. I was like, oh, that's really creative and really, really fun. And I get it. There's an event that I went to as a guest for years. I did the auction for probably 4 or 5 years before I retired. And the only way you could get everybody to leave is when they ran out of booze, because it would go until 11 o'clock at night. But it was called fight night. They had professional fights going on. Everybody's smoking cigars, drinking whiskey. Carrying on. It's just they would do the fundraising early, but then it just partied on, and then they had an after party. Yeah.
So, it was kind of that was the setup for that event. But
Wow.
uh,
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Um, Fun stuff. We can't speak enough to once again, people wanting fun, novelty, having, people want to have a good time, pardon me, novelty, energy, obviously all tied into fundraising. You did give some examples where you can actually raise money. So that's really cool to always have that option.
mhm,
It's not
yeah,
mandatory with some of the games and the participation items, and things that we discussed, but you gotta also remember folks' attention span is very, very short these days by design. It's designed to be that way because of our phones, because of our lives. Things are moving very, very quickly. So you got to keep that in mind. I think I'm just expanding on your point about timeline and brevity and pace.
yeah,
And you even say it's like, hey, we got 3 minutes per live auction item. Keep it at that.
yeah.
Keep it strict.
Well,
And
and
it,
that's
it will end up paying dividends.
yeah, because if you start when you say you're going to start, you finish when you say you're going to finish. People remember that.
100%.
Your check in, check out. If you
Yeah.
want people to be memorable, everybody
Make
talks
that
about
smooth.
the food,
Make
and
that
we were
smooth.
talking to another auctioneer, very, very real, highly experienced and very effective fundraiser. Her name's Abra,
Mm,
and Abra, she was saying nobody remembers the food. She goes, everybody makes a big deal about the food. That's not what they remember, but they remember the check in, the check out.
yep.
If it took them, they had to wait 30 minutes in line. If the bar, it takes 15 to 20 minutes to get a drink, no
Have two
blame.
bars. Have 3 bars.
You may have to have four. It just
Yeah,
depends on your
exactly. Depends how
crowd,
many
how
people
the
you have.
room's laid
Yeah.
out.
But
But
don't have one bar.
don't
Yeah.
skimp on those things,
Yeah.
because some people go, well, if we do that, we won't spend as much money on the bar bill. Yeah, and you won't have anybody showing up either, because or for your
Yeah. Hey,
fundraising,
get the
because they're
bar
all standing in
underwritten.
line at the bar.
Get the bar underwritten. I mean,
Um,
get the bar underwritten by a local distributor. I mean, you know what I mean?
well, it's just it's a worthwhile investment to get
For
it done
sure. For
right.
sure.
It's not, that's not the place to skimp. There's other
I'm gonna do
places
a
that you
call for
can go.
questions, Jay.
If you,
I'm gonna do a call
huh?
for question. I'm gonna do a call
Yeah,
for
for sure.
questions. Do we have any questions or any comments, success stories, failures? Are we completely in left field with these ideas? Let us know.
No,
Once
we're
again,
not in left field. We're right in the center. I
I think
promise
we're
you.
in center field. We're athletic. We're in center field. Yeah. Any
But
question?
I
Yeah.
would love to
Okay.
hear if anybody's done one of these and it was a train wreck, because I can tell you, if
Someone
you,
had too much
like I talked
fireball.
about the heads or tails, if when it's not effective and it's kind of wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah,
We don't want
it's
Charlie Brown's teacher. Yeah.
yeah. You just don't want to have something that oh man, I'm so excited. Like
Yeah.
this, there was a young lady, she was so excited about it because she saw it done and she
Yeah.
wanted her 5 minutes of fame on the microphone. And I
Yeah.
mean that very thoughtfully. I think that her intention was very well placed, but it was like, because I had to get up and work after that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the
Bad
auctioneer, I
setup.
was just helping
Yeah.
a friend of mine. And we had to get up and work, and boy, everybody was asleep.
Yeah.
So you really got to get people awake,
Feel that.
leaned in,
Yeah.
be ready to turn the lights up. Don't leave the lights down. Have that. Make sure that your sound system is really good.
Hey, yeah. Hey,
About
practice
pace.
all these things beforehand. Practice it. I mean, do a
Hmm.
walkthrough. You know what I mean? That way
Yeah.
you'll
Can I
lead
talk about?
with
Do y'all
advantage.
mind if I make a little comment about sound systems?
Oh yeah, people need to hear it
This
because
is
it's usually
something
bad.
this is a mistake that everybody makes. You go and you get the sound system, and you go in there where the room's empty,
Hmm.
and you test it, and it sounds really good. Whoa, that's pretty loud.
Then you fill it with 300 people.
You fill it up with 300 or 400 people, and it's not loud enough. And here's what happens: it should blow your door. You should be able to blow the doors out of the place with the sound
Yep.
system.
Yep.
And I'll give you a reason why. They say, well, the crowd was too noisy. Noisy crowds are not bad.
Oh no,
That
that's
means they got energy. They're
they're
enthusiastic.
engaged. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here
But
we go.
what you've got to do, and we all go to basketball games and football games. You don't have a problem hearing their audio. You go to rock concerts,
Outside
people screaming and yelling and everything else. You don't have a problem hearing the music
because they blast.
because they blast. So
Yeah,
just make sure, and I'm not saying you have to set it up like it's a rock concert
yeah,
unless you're doing a rock concert,
yeah. It doesn't have to
but,
be like Metallica.
but just house systems are made for house systems. They're not made for an event like this.
Yeah,
even though they say, "Oh yeah, our system's really good." No, it's not. Unless it was put together by a professional sound company and they've got somebody managing it that knows what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they have, big events, it will.
Cool. 80s music is fun, Paula. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Everyone loves 80s
Oh
music.
yeah,
Everyone
80s
loves
music. Everybody
pizza.
loves 80s music.
Pizza's great. Everyone loves pizza. It's like, let's use what
Like
works. It's
70s
fun.
disco.
Yeah,
You
it's
play 70s
fun.
disco and everybody starts moving.
Totally, totally. Whether they were
Doesn't matter
alive
if
or they
my
were not.
91-year-old mother-in-law
Yeah,
or my
yeah,
2-year-old grandson.
yeah. Cool. Oh, cool. Hey, Todd, VP of the Houston Police Family Support Unit, and this will be our third year having a chili cook-off. I think chili cook-offs are really fun. A great place for a raffle, in my opinion. Just throwing it out there, Todd, because I've seen it. My opinions are rooted in success that we've seen with with our clients, with other organizations. This year, I hired a live entertainer and got her sponsored. Yeah, you got her underwritten and sponsored. Well done, sir. That's awesome, Todd. Thanks so much for coming, brother. That's awesome. If there's anything
I
that
would
we can
just say,
do,
Todd, I would
yeah,
tell you two things. Are you
yeah,
having a chili cook-off or are you having a concert?
yeah.
Because the reason I say that, and I mean this
No,
very
that,
respectfully,
that's a fair question. Yeah,
if you're going to have a concert because you're wanting to raise money for that way,
yeah,
drive it like it's a concert. If you've got the
yeah,
person who's going to sing and to bring their fan, the
yeah,
entertainer, and I don't know who the entertainer is. I
yeah.
mean, do they have 300 fans or they have 300,000 fans?
Totes.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but really be specific on what you're doing,
that's
because
a good call.
if you're trying to raise money, you want to bring, you need people there that are going to raise money.
Yep.
If you're just trying to sell tickets, because, if we sell, 500 tickets, we're going to make enough money.
Perfect.
That's where we're going to hit our
Yeah,
goal.
yeah,
Great.
yeah,
But always keep all those things in mind about,
yeah.
always remember the math.
Very good.
We get some ideas and we start seeing, we're raising money,
Yeah.
and sometimes we forget, we get all these ideas, or we start thinking about, doing heads or tails and Simon Says and dancing trains and doing shots. And we forget that it is a
We're
fundraiser.
playing
Right?
ABBA.
We're
Yeah,
here to
yeah.
raise money.
Yellow shots and playing
So
ABBA.
I want you to have fun. I think it's the part that's missing in a lot of events. That's why they're dying on the vine and
Is
nobody
that
shows
element?
up and
Yeah.
people don't want to go.
Yeah, yeah. People are like, "Why is our silent auction not working?" Well, maybe because it's not fun because you don't have fun stuff to
Well,
sell.
you don't
All due
have any, but you
respect.
don't have anybody with
Yeah,
any money.
yeah. It's just not fun, that kind of
There's an
thing.
organization that I was a part of for several years, and they went from having uh, very, uh, I'm going to say, well-funded donors.
Oh,
They went from having very well-funded donors to participants that were eaters and drinkers, and they were there for they would put their duds on and show up, and it's a party, but they weren't raising their hands and buying anything. And you got to, sometimes, and they were getting more, bigger, bigger, bigger. They had 700 people in the room, and
mm-hmm.
nobody had any money.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
So
yeah. Okay, cool, Todd. I like that feedback. Yeah, raffles at an outdoor event like that work great. That's just my feedback. I've also, and it's an acoustic performance. I totally get that. I've seen big stage musical events with kicking live auctions as well, because you get a big group of
oh
people.
gosh, we did one last year. We had an event last year, and
Yeah,
they did a couple things. They did a vacation station, high-end
yeah,
silent
yeah,
auction,
yeah.
and then they also did. They sold the tickets from the stage for the
Mhm.
golden ticket. And I think they auctioned something off in the live, and
Was there
and
a concert involved? I mean,
it was a concert. Yeah, it was a big music, like a mini music
oh, I don't
fest.
remember. Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Hey, listen, you get that many people in one location, they always say like, hey, the top 10, 20% are the ones that are going to be buying live auction items. Excuse me. Hey, play those odds. You get 1,000 people watching a concert or whatever, you're coming to your event. Have a live auction, have a kick-in silent auction or vacation station or a premium silent auction. Those are just great ways. I mean, it's just obviously to twist the dial. Um, you know, I just think there's some really, really, really cool ideas out there. So best of luck to you, Todd. Hey, it's not a plug or anything like that, but if anyone's, toying with some new creative process or adding a fun entertainment element or has questions about like, I've got 600 people, we've got 2 bars, is that enough? Do us a favor and go to the website, go to hafundraising.com, click on free coaching. By the way, this could be, I'm just making it contextual to this conversation. But if you have any questions about anything, we have folks that came on this week to talk to us about, you know, making asks over the telephone and how they would go about that and structuring emails and stuff like that. So we talk about everything fundraising. Our time is free and it comes with no strings attached. Jason and myself, we also have a full team as well that can help if you have questions about. We've got a silent auction specialist, all those things. So feel free to go to the website. Feel free to share it with someone in your network. If someone's just hitting a block and there's like, I have some questions, I just need to talk to a couple folks. Jason knows more about fundraising than I'll ever know, but I'm learning very, very quickly. And what we do, we're arbiters of information. We have tremendous guests on all the time on this webinar, on our podcast, and we're in a lot of events, and we're just sharing those experiences with folks. So rest assured, we can find an answer and put you in the right direction. So take us up on the offer. Like I said, the time's free, no strings attached. So that's my 3 minutes, Trev. You took too long. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I just wanted to show y'all how that works.
Oh my.
Now we've got a winner. I got to announce the winner. We're going to give away a trip that somebody's going to get to go use more money, raise more money, and it's Sage Mackin.
Okay, Sage. All right, Sage. Okay, memory serves. I think Sage is from Connecticut. Yeah.
Right
all right. Enjoy that 70-degree weather, Sage. Way to go. Yeah.
You're a winner.
Our team will be. Nope, can't stop it. We can't stop. We never stop, actually. Sorry. We're like the Energizer. We're the Energizer Bunny of fundraising. We really are. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to just tell everybody, thank you so much for being here. Whether you're listening live or you're here watching this recording, it means a lot to us.
Yeah.
If you got anything out of this today, if you there's anything positive, would you do us one favor? Yeah. You don't ask of anything. You know, we're not here. You don't need to do business with us. We don't care. That's not what we're here for on this part. But would you share this with somebody else? And maybe you're in a group on Facebook or something. Would you just share this? We're going to send a recording out and say, hey, if you haven't listened to these guys, maybe this is something that's good. Get them to subscribe. We also have a podcast called Hey Nonprofits, Raise More Money. Love to have you if you do a podcast. It means a lot to us. Yep. And if you're there, give us a subscribe and, you know, give us a rating.
Download, rate, review, share it.
All of our podcasts are 15 minutes. You know, they're very brief, and they're typically something that we're going to go deep on. We talk a little bit about everything, but it all ties back to fundraising.
Absolutely.
So we would really appreciate it. It means a lot to us.
Yep. Hey, thanks so much, everyone, for coming. Thanks for all the folks that have never come before and that are watching the recording for the first time. Sage, congratulations. We've helped other Epilepsy Foundation chapters and locations raise money. So we're happy to help you raise money too. So congratulations on winning that item. And please take us up, like we said, on the offer. Any questions you have, you can schedule a free coaching session. We're here for you. So I hope everyone has a great Thursday afternoon and a great weekend. Thank you, Bev.
We appreciate you guys.
Y'all take care. Thanks, brother. That was awesome. Appreciate y'all. Bye.